Hello, welcome. It's good to be with you again here at my orange table here in Connecticut. I'm Charlie Collins. I work with LVI America, and I'm in Cheshire, Connecticut. And just a quick little bit about us. We have a warehouse in Chicago. We have a distribution network all around North America through resellers, dealers, and of course, Kimberly and I. And we have a team in a warehouse. We have a service center in Massachusetts, and we have a boring accounting office too. Anyway, here on the table today, I have a few things. So I have a Chromebook, MacBook, Windows, PC. I have the MLS, I have an XY table, and I have the accessories and plugs and things that come with the MLS. So I'm just going to go through setting it up, and it hooks to all three computers. I know we're only doing 2 platforms today, but hey, I'll steal a little time for the PC. We just did a webinar on that. But it all hooks up with this one cable here, hooks up to each of these devices with a USB cable, but it also, if your device, your laptop only had USB-C, or you prefer, you can use USB-C from the camera to the computer. And Christopher will go through showing you how this looks. But I just wanted you to see the physical, the hardware, and how it looks and connects and all that. And we have also a connector that this clicks into the back of the MLS. Did I show it to you right side up? It has an RJ45, an HDMI, and it has a USB-C out to the computer. This camera receives all its power from the cable connected to the laptop or a desktop. Doesn't really matter. But it receives its power. It doesn't have a separate power source. Don't have to charge it. Don't have to lug around anything else. Also connects direct. Doesn't need Wi-Fi. Doesn't rob the Wi-Fi of any of your computer. So you can always be doing something else at the same time if you want to minimize or share the screen, split the screen. So this is really nice because I'm going to take our cable and I'm going to look and plug in the USB-C. And what I love about USB-C too is that it's either way. It doesn't, I don't care. You just find that and plug it in, it works. USB, you got to have it plugged in the right way. Now the other end is going to go in the computer, but you'll see this module, it comes in and out of the MLS, but this thing has a white barcode on the bottom, I guess, and that I know faces down. Before I plug it in, I'm just going to pick this up. Kimberly said 4 pounds, very light. This is how you transport it. You bring it around, very light. So to open it, I pull up. You hear a click. I hold my finger on the base of it so I can open the legs, and then I pull on the base. I'm good. Drop it where I need it. Then I take this once I've plugged up the cable, plugged in, and that click noise means I'm now active. If I had it plugged in, the screen would take a minute, and then it would know I plugged in the camera and my software would start working. So again, like I said, I have a Chromebook, works great. MacBook, stole my daughter's. And the PC, and quite frankly, on any of these platforms, it works really well. Kimberly and I, when we do shows in Christopher, I could have it running on a PC and then just unplug it, plug it into a Mac, and unplug it and plug it into a Chromebook, and it just works. I don't have to do anything. I can close the computer with the software open, pull up the screen, and it's back up and running. So it works really well. I'm not going to get into the features and benefits of that. So a couple of cables that you might want to also invest in are if you want to send the image out from any of your laptops into a big screen, you'll need adapters, unless your laptop comes with HDMI out. Why? Because I need to go from USB-C to HDMI or a display port to HDMI in order to send it to my large screen, which I like to do. Also on the back of here is an HDMI plug. So I could connect this directly into any type of screen, 55-inch, 45-inch, whatever your size is, but I don't need to run it through a computer. I can run it independently just plug it into the wall with a power adapter from the USB-C cable. I can run the power into the wall, and then my MLS now turns into basically a desktop. Another thing I can do with it is I can have an XY table if I'd like, a little mini XY table, very small, lightweight, and that would tuck in. Oh, I put the laptop on top of the cable. So I would tuck in right next to it, okay? And then on the other side, let's just say I could put the laptop nice in. So the footprint is quite small. Christopher's going to show you what the image quality looks like, but let's just say, here's the distance view. Well, that would be self view. I'd be on the other side of the camera, but you know what I mean. Then I can move this all the way around and get the image. I can rotate it up and down. I can then spin it. This would be for distance, and I can turn it this way. So it's extremely versatile. It moves all around. You could definitely get the image you want. Christopher will show you it does video, all sorts of features to it, but I get excited. I want to tell you. And it has an RJ45 because you can plug in one of our remote large print tactile type of connectors with a single click, and then I could operate the MLS from that. Also, I can operate it from these buttons right here. So I can do some of the features. I could put lines in, masking. I can change contrast modes. I can magnify. I can reduce magnification. I can turn the light on and off. So I can do all that from here. But as Christopher's going to show you, this thing runs best from the keyboard. It runs fast from the keyboard, all keyboard commands, which we'll send you out after the webinar. And let's see, what else do I have to show you? In your bag, you're going to get this. This has a has the serial number all printed right on here, so it's serialized, and it comes with a little USB stick. Why? Because on here we preload it with the PC software and the Mac software preloaded on here. So when you buy one of these, it fits all of these out of the box. All three platforms. Doesn't cost extra to have that. Only thing that costs extra is TTS. And then if I am going to install it for a Mac, and then once I activate it, it goes to the internet and it says, hey, we have a newer version. Would you like to download it? Yes. Click yes. It does its thing. You don't have to do much except let it do its thing. Chrome, it's a little different. You got to go to their Chrome store, and then it's like an extension. You just add it in, and it's up and running. So very easy to get it installed. You do need to install it. Now, you could download this software from our website, lviamerica.com support, find the camera you have, download the latest software, but that's going to take a while because it's a large file. So I always recommend install it off your thumb drive. If there is a more current version, it'll go out, find it, and update your computer very quickly. Another thing here, normally I wouldn't have all this around. I keep it nice in the bag. I'm going to show you the bag, but before I do that, also with the MLS, you can dock it. So I could drop it in here. I fold it up. Now I'm doing this on a wing, so it's sitting here, and then I would have a full docking system to use it. Kind of turns it into a desktop video magnifier. I could have that plugged directly into a monitor, or when I got home, this thing would be on the back connected to my computer. So when I drop this in, this activates all my connection to the computer and my screens. I don't have to redo any plugs. It's nice to have a spare one of these modules. So you can get this with a nice XY system built in. You can get this just on its own and use it on your own table. Clamps on very easy. Let me show you the bag, and then we'll go over to Sweden. It's so cool these days that you can somebody from Sweden could be helping us on a webinar. All right, I'm going to move this so I don't knock it over. Here's the bag. Okay, in here, obviously, I can go ahead and drop any of my computers in. It'll take up to a 17. I can drop a computer in. I have a shoulder strap, and I have a nice protected bag for the MLS. So here's the bag. Now in here too, when you get an MLS, you get all sorts of cables with it. You get HDMI, you get a DVI, in case your computer still has a DVI connector. You can go from HDMI to DVI, and you get whatever you need in cables. So you know what I love is that I hate when I buy things and I get home, I'm all excited, and it says cable not supplied. Well, that's stupid. I don't want to have to buy another cable. I want to use it now. So inside the MLS bag is another bag. Yeah, we like bags, okay? But also, let me just show you, nice orange. So it heightens contrast, makes it easier to pull things in and out of the bag. Why do we include another bag? Well, you can take the shoulder strap off of this bag, connect it to this. If you don't want to carry around a computer, you just want to carry your MLS, no problem. In this bag is the molded foam for the unit, okay? So I might just throw this in my backpack instead of bringing this one around, because I bring my laptop in the backpack with this, and I'm good to go. But some might want to use the whole big bag, or whatever. Float your boat. It's yours. So when I pack this up, which I'm going to do, then I line it up in here, like that. Okay, and then, you know, I just drop each piece in. One thing before, I just want to show you on the distance is, we do have a ring on the camera that you will need to release when you do distance. And then the reducing ring allows you to do much closer focusing. And it's magnetic. It just pops off, pops back on. That's like the you know, how it feels. I know you don't feel it, but that's how it is, like, whoops, working with it out of the bag, setting it up, plugging in a cable. It's very quick to get it up and running. And again, each one of these platforms it'll work on. So before I end my portion, does anyone have any questions for me for what I've showed you?
I'm looking for questions. There's one there, but I'm going to let Christopher answer it.
All right.
Hold on, Charlie. There's a question. What power is? What power cords are you using when you plug it into the TV?
I'm using an HDMI plug, and I'm using what's this thing called? A Usbc to the adapter, plugged into the back, gives it its power, and then also, where's the module? Okay. So the USB-C gives me my power, and next to it is HDMI. So then I plug HDMI, there's a monitor over here. But then I plug this into the TV, turn the input, and activate the camera. I just did one of the other day, one of our dealers called and said he just did a webinar using this as his webinar camera. And he said it was unbelievable, the quality of the, I said, that's a great idea. So yes, that's how you'll plug that in. And then of course, like I said, you need an adapter if you want to plug your laptop into a larger screen if it doesn't have an HDMI.
Excellent. Thank you, Charlie. Any other questions for Charlie? And I also just put the opening code in the actual chat for everyone. So please let me know that you're able to see that, because we've had issues with that in the past, but everybody should be able to see that it's opening code 5433. Okay, then we are going to go live with Christopher. So Christopher, can you take over, please?
Bye, everyone. See you soon.
Yeah, we'll be back to you, Charlie. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Charlie.
You're welcome.
So let me share my screen. Are we ready for that now?
I think you saw the question, but there's a question about Android I wanted you to address. And then also, Christopher, if you would do the introduction to LBI, because we are kind of coming back to you on that part of the slide.
Yeah, absolutely. I will first share my screen.
Perfect. Thank you, Christopher. It looks great.
Okay, good. I wanted to share my screen before I start to talk, because this is actually the heart of the company. This is, as you can see, a very long table. We now, as I hope all of you, or most of you, are able to see, there are some chairs next to the walls. That's because we are, like you, also hit by the coronavirus, and we are doing the social distancing here as well. So some people can sit by the table and some have to sit in the back, but that's, you do what you gotta do right now. We, LVI here in Sweden, we have been up and running all time during this tough period of time with the coronavirus. Of course, with a lot of restrictions like anywhere else. We are a company that's developing and producing all sorts of video magnifiers, or I should say desktop video magnifiers, smaller portable ones like the one we're going to dive into today. And Charlie already did the hardware introduction on that one. It's called the MagniLink S, and then we have a wide range of different products. We have been doing this since 1978, always here in Växjö, Sweden. And also I remember you said, Kimberly, that when we are sitting by this long table that we're looking at right now, we have a word in Sweden called fika. And fika means that you are enjoying a coffee, some bread, and company. And that's very popular in Sweden. Anywhere you go, you have fika. And we have had both Kimberly and Charlie coming over all the way from the United States here to the main headquarters here in Sweden, and they were both very thrilled about fika. I remember that. I'm now going to grab the camera, and like Charlie did on his part, and turn it a little sideways. There is one office that's active, or where the light is turned on, and that's my office. And I wanted to give you a sneak peek into my office, where I have the US map on my wall, a big one. So I'm always keeping an eye on you guys. As you can see, I just grab the camera and I move it in any direction. Charlie already showed you that the whole product is very easy movable, and I can of course turn it to look at myself, distance, left, right, anywhere. I can also use the product on my left side, and when I do that, I need to go into the software where we are right now and do rotation. I will show you that later.
Show us self-view.
I'm sorry?
I said show us self-view.
You want to have some self-view?
Yeah, I want to see how your tan is.
Hold on.
Color would be better too. Hey, there he is. Hello.
There I am. And now obviously we are upside down, so I need to rotate it back. There we go. So it doesn't matter where you want to place your product. It works anywhere. But Charlie stole my idea here of showing you how we have a feature inside all of our products doing distance viewing, including this one, where it separates the settings I have in distance and in near, allowing the user to be more up to speed and not fall behind. So for example, I go back to distance. It takes me back to my last use settings. When I go back to my paper, actually I have to put on a color to show you easier. So this is how I can read the text on my document or take my notes or whatever I'm doing. When I go back to the teacher, it takes me back to my last few settings I had in distance. So I don't need to do that back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, including adjusting the settings. All I do is I grab the camera and I point wherever I want to look, and then that's how simple it is. Charlie talked a little bit about how you operate with this product. You have some basic buttons on the product itself, on the hardware. Then you have a lot of short commands on key strokes on the keyboard. And the third way, that's what we're mainly going to use today, because it's easier for you to follow along, is I can add a menu. So now you can see a menu appearing on top of the window of the software. I can make the menu bigger and smaller. Let's work with this. It says settings on top left. We will go in there later. Then it says camera, and then it says OCR. These are your 3 columns or menus. We are now going to operate from the camera side. It says colors, artificial, and natural. So you can easily add, let's go back to the paper. You can add a high contrast color in case you need that. All I do is I press here with the mouse cursor where it says colors artificial, and I stop when I'm satisfied. Or I can do the keystroke. In this case, it's F2 and F3, taking it backwards and forwards. I can easily go back to full color natural. If there are, like we have here, colored pictures, or maybe I need to work on a colored map or something, I can easily just go back to natural. And when I'm back to the text, in case I prefer, it's simple to go back to use my artificial colors. Moving on in the menu here, it says magnification, overview, increase and decrease. And of course I can magnify, smaller and bigger. Overview means, and we will make it a little bigger, that it might be hard to understand where you are in the text or on the paper, or if you're looking at the larger map or maybe a bookbinder, or even in distance, it might be hard to follow along. So you have something called overview, which is also Control O on the keystroke. That will bring you out to the lowest magnification, so you have an understanding where you are in the text. So let's go over to the service part here, or actually we can do the development and construction. And then I press overview and it will take me back to the magnification I had. I can have autofocus on, or I can turn it off in case I need to focus on a specific area, or if I'm struggling with the camera focusing on my hand or pen instead of the paper when I'm writing, for example. Manual focusing, you can press arrow up or down to manually focus the camera. You can adjust the contrast, which could be needed if you have, not specifically this paper, but maybe an old printed newspaper. You need to add some contrast, or if it's very bright or dark in the room, you might need to add or decrease the contrast. Line and curtain. You have curtains and lines coming across the screen, if you prefer so. I press and hold, and I stop when I'm happy with the line we have here in the center. We have them vertical, horizontal, and we also have masking vertical and horizontal. And again, I stop when I'm happy. So this could be one way to follow along in the text. I will remove it for now. Light, I'm quite sure Charlie showed you that there's a lamp on the product itself on the arm. So in case I'm in a darker room, I might want to turn on the light, and I can also dim it. Picture, save and open. I can easily just save snapshots with this camera in the software, and they will be stored on the computer that you're using. So it says save. My short command will be F5 on the keystroke or keyboard. It's asking me where I would like to save my image. And by default, it's always in the document MagniLink folder. So save the picture. That could be done, of course, if let's go back to natural. If I want to save what the teacher has been doing on the board, let's save this one, save as a picture, so that when I get back home, I can easier work on my homework. And now we can open those pictures. And of course, you need to remember which one it is. It's named, oh, there they are. So I just opened the picture. I don't think you will see this because it's opening up in a as a JPEG in the Mac Viewer program, where not the LVI software, but on the Mac side, and I'm sharing my screen focusing on the Mac LVI software. So, but it came up on my screen, I'm sorry about that. You can do the same thing, saving images, but video recording instead. It says record video, open. So we can make a video. Again, same thing, it's asking me where I would like to save it, start recording. A red logo comes up down in the right corner of the software so that I know we are now recording. And it's capturing voices as well through the microphone on the computer. I can turn that feature off as well. Both the video recording as a license on the LVI server, in case for any reason you're not allowed to record in the school, or maybe let's say you are in the military and you're not allowed to have something that you can record. We can turn it off, but you can also turn off within the software the microphone, and I will show that later. I have to press video record again, and the keystroke will be Control F5. I have to press the same thing when I start it as when I stop it. So now it's stopped, and we can easily just open that one. It's most likely this one we have up here. No, it was not, sorry. This is the one. So I can open the video very easily, and Control F6 would be my keystroke for that. Rotation, we have already looked at that. I can rotate the image. I will grab the camera and go back to the text here. There we go. I have mirror, I can mirror the text if needed. That's useful when I'm doing my selfie viewing to get the right hand on the right side of the screen. I can freeze the picture in case I need that, meaning that when I press, obviously you cannot see that, but I'm moving my hand right now in front of the camera, but it freezes the picture. Now I press and we're back live. It says OCR and whole. I will explain those a little later. We will continue with this menu first. Split modes. I don't know exactly how this will look on your screen, but when I press the split modes, I can choose if I like to have the split screen on my left side, right side, top side, bottom side, or centered on the Mac monitor or the computer monitor, in case I would like to work in another program at the same time. Maybe I'll do the LVI camera in distance, split the screen, and start in another document where I can take notes at the same time. Always on top means that this software, the LVI software, will always be on top on the Mac itself, in case I'm running other softwares or programs in the background. And then help will open the user manual. Before we go into the OCR part, we will go back here and we will jump into the settings menu. So we're back top left corner of the software.
Christopher, I'm going to make a comment. I just wanted to make a comment that, first of all, if I didn't know you were doing this in a Mac platform, to me it looks just like the Windows platform, which is great for us as teachers and trainers, and just you don't have to relearn something. It's very similar on all three platforms. So that's really cool, because in everything you're doing, you're showing us how you can click the button. You're clicking the keypad, I think. I mean, the touchpad. You can drive it with a mouse. If you had a touch screen, everything you're doing, you could just touch the screen. You could do some pinching for zooming on these with the touch screen. And then, of course, you can do everything with the keyboard. On all three platforms, they all do that.
That is correct. Thank you, Charlie. So I'm in the settings menu. The first thing that comes up is about. That will give you some information on what version we have on the software, the model, the serial number. But under application, you are able to do some settings that will customize the product for your needs. And just a minute ago, I showed you the split screen modes where we have the, like we are doing now, the full screen. But I can just unmark those by pressing the mouse where I am I can unmark those that I don't like to use. This will again help me be more productive, not always need to go through the whole cycle of all these variants. I can just have those that I like to use available, which will make it easier and faster for me to use my product. You can adjust the menu size. The menu size, that's where we are right now. I can make this smaller and bigger. Then you have camera menu groups and OCR menu groups. Those are the menu groups that we have been looking at up here. I will close this window and you will see me move around my mouse cursor here on the top. These are the menu groups. So I can remove those functions that I have available there that I know I will not be using that often. I can just press any of those that I know I don't like to have these available. Again, just to make it more like I like to have it. So now all you have are these functions. The same thing on the OCR part, and we have not been there yet. And down here you can see it says default. So I can easily, if I mess things up, or if someone else is borrowing my product, or maybe you have it in a demo center or something, you can always easily go back to default. Under video, you have resolution and frame rate. And again, a default setting. Recording, this is where I said before that you can uncheck the record audio box if you don't like it to capture voices. You can also put a limit on the length of recording. You can just drag this arrow or house or whatever you like to call it to the minute you like to have available as your recording length. Or you can unbox it if you would like to have it unlimited. Like I said before, it will be stored on your computer, and that will be the hard drive we are working with. You have all the shortcuts available, shortcuts on your keyboard. These are all the shortcuts, and you can just press any one of them. I'm now on increase volume, which is normally or as default button number 9, but I can just press any other key or key command on my keyboard to change this one. Let's do U instead of number 9. That works better for me. But just so that I don't mess anything up, continuing doing my demo, I will press the default, and as you can see, it took back number 9. Under speech, that's where I can change my reading voice, and you have not heard the product read yet, but we will get there very soon. Change the volume and the reading speed. Under OCR, you can change the font, what it looks like, the text. You can have column mode activated or not. Of course, if I will leave here and I will zoom out a little bit. Here we got some columns where development and construction will be one column. Down here, production and quality will be one column, including the next part here on the right side. And then we have a third column called service on this piece of paper. And these will all be blocked as a column, and that's how it will read them, column by column. But like I said, I can unbox the column mode if I want the software to read from left to right, in case, let's say, an invoice or something like that. It will do that. I can unbox the start speech after OCR, and we have something called automatic language detection, which means if I have this unit licensed for, let's say, US English and Swedish, which would work for me quite well, I'm sliding under an English document. It will start to read in English. And then I'm taking a Swedish document and I slide it in under the camera and I hit the OCR button, it will start to read in Swedish. That's kind of neat. EUC, end user configuration. This is another part of the software or in the settings where you can customize the product for your needs. When I go out of the settings menu and I hit F3 on my keyboard, or I remove that function up in the menu bar. So, but you can see me going through the whole cycle here. If I know I don't like yellow and blue combination, I can simply just remove it. The same thing with all of these. And maybe I want to add a color. Maybe I want to do an orange and black combo. That is what works for me. And you will see the text in the background here in a bit. You can turn off grayscale, which means that you can have it in full natural or grayscale. You can, the ref line we looked at before in the curtains, you can change the thickness of these. And the same thing with the color. They are as default black or white, depending on if you're having positive or negative color combo. We'll slide out and I will go back to full color. Now we're going over to the OCR part. And this is where the product will read for you. You can either hit here up in the menu or hit F4 on your keyboard. It says OCR started.
Thank you for choosing LVI. You've made a great choice. Let us explain why. Development and construction, your new video magnet.
And it starts to read the text that we had in front of us. Again, same thing here. You can customize it to your needs. You can change the colors, the magnification. We can zoom in and out. Now you can see those blocks I talked about before on the column. You can use your mouse cursor, or like Charlie said, if you have a touchscreen, which I don't, you can just press your finger on the screen on the word where you'd like to start. So let's start here on our own software.
Our own software and image improving techniques ensures that you get the best image quality.
It says up here in the menu, it says view modes or button number B on the keyboard. That one will take you through different kind of viewing modes, again, to find what works the best for you. This is what we call the text, and I will play a little bit.
LVI. You've made a great.
Of course, you can make it bigger, smaller. You can have the line, the word in the center, the actual picture and the word below that it's reading out, or the actual picture and the line below that it's reading. Whatever works for you. All these settings that you have seen me going over will be saved, and when you just exit the software, and next time you jump in, you will get out automatically these settings. There is also quiet. There is also quiet mode where it's just reading quietly. So you have to follow along carefully in the text. Let's say you are in a library or maybe in a classroom, and that's the only way to have it reading. Of course, you can plug in any earphone to your laptop, in this case a Mac. You can play back and forwards in the text. I will show you the pages. You can also split the screen again to follow along what's in another program while you're listening. But before we do the multiple pages, it says here on the top left, document, save and open. And this is really cool, where you can save this into your computer, your Mac, as either an RTF file or a zip file, and it will be stored on your computer. As default, it's asking me to save it in the MagniLink folder under documents, but I could choose anywhere, and I can name it, of course. Save document. So we just saved the OCR text that we have in front of us as an RTF file on our computer. Document open. You can open documents. We can open the one we just saved, meaning that it will start to read that document we have on our computer. But here we have more options. We can actually open a BMP file, JPEG, PNG, GIF, TIFF, PDF, RTF, and zip file. So it's very flexible when it comes to what you can open. So you can actually go online to lvi.america.com, download a user manual in the PDF format, and open it with our software, and it will read it. And I'm actually going to show you that right now. Let's see. Where is my little... Here is a PDF file that we have saved under Documents on our MacBook. We go to Open Document. And this is the flyer or the leaflet we have for the MagniLink S software. We are still in quiet mode, so let's do the actual picture. Here it is. So this is the flyer I had saved on my computer as a PDF file, and now it's within our software because I opened it up, and we can now start to read it anywhere we'd like. Let's start on the top.
MagniLink S Premium 2 fits all your needs. MagniLink S Premium 2 is the ultimate video magnifier for you with Hdmi.
This flyer comes with 2 pages. So when I go over here on my right up in the menu, it says pages, and you can see now we have 1 and 2. So if I press the arrow pointing right, it will change to the second page. And of course I can have as many pages as I like to. I think our user manual is like 35 pages, and they will all come here, and then I can jump between the pages. So this is the second page.
MagniLink S Premium 2, superior image quality. MagniLink S Premium 2 excels in brightness, sharpness, and contrast. And
one other cool thing on the OCR part is that I will now minimize the LVI software, and I will go down to this, the real PDF. And I think you're not able to see this because of the sharing, but what I'm doing is I'm opening the PDF file that we are looking at right now that was stored on my MacBook. On the first page, it says MagniLink S Premium 2, but I will now mark and copy the second part of that first page of the flyer that starts with fit all your needs. And then there's some text connected to that. I will go back into the software. So now you guys are back with me. Now I can just do so it's basically CMD-C and CMD-V, which would be the same thing as Control-V and Control-C, copy-paste on PC. So now I pasted in the text that I had highlighted, copied from anywhere. It could be online. In this case, it was a PDF file that I had stored on my computer.
Fits all your needs. MagniLink S Premium 2 is the ultimate video magnifier for you with Hdmi.
And this is what it's reading for me. And again, I can change all the settings that you've seen me do. So as you can see, you can use this product. Charlie did a good demonstration on that, how portable it is and how easy it is to connect and use on any of the 3 platforms. We're talking about Mac, PC, and Chromebook. And we have now been looking at, on my part here, on the Mac. But I will go back to camera. We're back live. And unfortunately, yeah. Yes.
I just, so just to be clear, on the PDF side, any PDF I download from the internet, I have on my computer, any of those I can open in the Windows or the Mac version, and I can read 20 pages, 300 pages. I can do any of that. And what you also said is that I could scan, append, we call it, so I could have 25 pages that I want to put in. I can't find it anywhere digitally, so I'm going to scan it with my system and build one document 25 pages long, like you showed with the flyer.
Correct. Yes, thank you. And that brings you back. Once they're in here, you can just document save them on your computer. Yes, and then email them or whatever you'd like to do. Yes.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to the webinar. Today we're doing the MLS with Chrome. And I'm sitting here in Cheshire, Connecticut. I'm Charlie Collins with LVI. And if you've been on a few of our MLS, our Mac one or our PC one, you know the beginning a little bit. But let me start off by showing the bag. This is the bag it ships in that you get with it. And it comes with a nice pouch You could put your accessory XY table. You could put a laptop in. But if you want to get it down slimmer, because you don't want to carry this bag, you have a backpack or your own computer bag, and you want to put, it actually ships in this, all form fitted for the MLS, which is here. Got a nice cleaning cloth. You have power, and each thing you just put it in. It's all foam and it's protected. It's stiff foam, so it's very well protected. You can see too, and I could put the shoulder strap from the bigger bag on this and just carry this. Like me, when I take it on the road, I just put it in my backpack. I don't bring the whole big one. Okay. So here's the MLS. Here's an accessory XY table that we have a docking system I can show you quick. And then this little one over here is the actual one that people are buying to go with this. So you have an XY experience. It works. This is here. This is an Acer Chromebook. So let me show you the MLS first. So when Kimberly always reminds me, this is 4.2 pounds. Here it is folded up. So to unfold it, to get it ready to use, I pull the first joint up, clicks, it goes into place. Then I hold the base with my thumb so it stays in place. Otherwise it'll do that while I'm trying to pull the legs apart. I pull the legs apart, done. Then I bring this down and the MLS is ready to go. Well, you got to plug it in, of course, but that's how easy it is. So I'm going to now plug it in. So I have on the back of the MLS, we supply a module. Well, let me get it to where, and this module has an HDMI. It has a RJ45 if you want to use a external keypad, and it has a USB-C. So a couple of things. This is great because you could have more than one. You could leave it plugged in at home, take this out on the road and bring this one with you and leave the one at home all plugged in. Or in the docking system, you can leave this plugged in, and each time you come home, it's already connected to this computer to monitor, however you do it. So what I love about this too is that I'm gonna just take my cable here, which is supplied in the MLS bag. You're gonna get an HDMI cable, you're gonna get a HDMI to DVI, you're gonna get this cable, which is USB-C to USB. Also, we don't supply it, but USB-C to USB-C works absolutely fine. If you have a Chromebook or a MacBook, then they no longer put USB on there. C to C works. I just wanted to let you know. But this is the one that we supply, and I just picked up the module, and I like it because normally I've got to pick up devices, and it seems like when I do, they flop around. I can't get behind them, but here I don't need to worry about that. I just take this up, pick it up, and then I put it in. Now I'm connected. So I'm going to bring this around, and there's a sticker on the bottom of it. So I don't know what it says on it, but I can see the contrast, and then I can just plug it in, and ooh, it's getting some juice. So that means this is up. So here's the Acer. This is an i5, 4 gig, 17-inch. I bought one with a big screen. Doesn't really help, but I tried. So let's let it boot up. And so you go, when you get your Chrome, when you get your MLS, it comes with a USB stick. And on that stick, you're going to have the Windows platform and the Mac platform, but not the Chrome platform. The Chrome platform is, I'm just making sure it's not Mac. The Chrome platform is on the web. So you would type in Chrome Viewer. You would go to the Chrome store, whatever it's called, and type in MagniLink, and it found it when I did it, and then I clicked on it, and it added it to my Chromebook, and it had distance viewing, self-viewing, document viewing, and if you know the Mac version and the PC version, it looks the same. So I need to magnify this a little, and you know that these Chromebooks come with some magnification and totally Chromevox, a screen reader built right into it. So, and I just hold 2 fingers and move my fingers on that. You can just pinch on this one. I can just pinch on it to magnify it too. And then I can move around. So I'm going to come down. I'm going to pinch a little more. And I'm going to open this right here. And then I think right up here, it's going to list my, I got to find my mouse. Okay, so I'm going to click on our software. I'm going to pinch it down. And now it's loading. Oh, I heard it do something. Oh, that would have been on me. It's always fun when it's live. Oh, it's on. Everything's good. Sorry. Like who does this does happen in the real world, so I can't. Oh boy. Now what did Charlie do? I don't want this. All right. So we can see I'm not getting a picture. So let me unplug it and replug it in. See, I can't do it without doing this. I love this. Makes it so much easier. Okay, I'm plugged in. Plugged in, the light flashes. If that doesn't work, I'll just restart the software one time and see what, telling me something there, but it's too small. So I'm gonna go ahead and restart the software there. Yay. Okay, so like any electronics technology, things like that, you know how we got to reboot our cell phones, reboot our computers, and sometimes, who knows, I can't answer the riddle, but I unplug and replug, and so looks like we're up and running here. Yeah, does it look there? I don't know, but okay, so let me just give you a quick demo of the hardware of this. It is upside down for me, backwards, very hard. So as you see, normally you would not use your MLS like I'm showing you. You would want the camera spun around facing you with the laptop screen, but I'm going to show it here. So just like, and I'm on a very shaky table, so zoom up and down, arrow keys. Change my modes just like our other devices. I go to color, I go back to grayscale, color. I can change by tapping the numbers on a Chromebook. It's numbers, not F keys. I can do all the things I can do. I can change views, I can magnify, I can change the look on the screen. I can do anything that this platform can do. I can do on a keyboard. I can do some functions on this front keypad, which is magnify, which is reduce, which is bring up the lines, the markers, the masking, turn the light on and off. You can do all that type of stuff. I can then plug, I could also plug this in if I wanted to. And I get a little larger print. I don't have to reach and use the product. I could use it. I would use this not if it's connected to a computer. I would use this if I just directly connected my MLS to a nice high-end 4K monitor. And then I wanted to put my MLS away from me, I could zoom in and out and look around. So I don't know. I did it. I loved it. So now I'm going to take off the ring and go distance. Sorry. That's my room. But if I want to zoom, there's something way across the room, and it's not that light over there. You're seeing how fast this is responsive. Here's the camera we're using. All right, and then with the MLS, as I put this ring on and go back, it remembers the magnification level, the contrast, everything I had set. I'm not going to dive into the actual platform. Christopher and Johannes are going to do that. I wanted to have you be able to see what it looks like on the desk and how it works, how easy it is to open the MLS, plug it in, and get the system up and running. Now, this is just an Acer Chromebook. Nothing fancy, and it absolutely, this is the one I've had for almost 2 years, and it's worked very well. OCR worked well, the video recording works well, the picture taking works well. You can store it on Google Drive, store it on the local machine, all done with simplicity of this. I could jump over, split screen, jump over into my Google Classroom. So it's a lot of possibility with a $250 computer. It's amazing what this can do. In the subject of my reminder email, I put Chromebook is king in the classroom, in the workplace, and home. Because once connected to our camera system, this laptop comes to life. So I'm going to break it down. Maybe I'll stop and I'll ask if, how does it look on there? If anyone has any questions, please.
Yes, if you guys
Emily,
have questions, please put them in the chat so I can pick them up and let Charlie know what questions are there.
Yeah, before I move on. Oh, definitely don't want to put that on the edge of a table. But you see, here's the XY.
Okay, nothing now, Charlie. Just everyone's letting.
Okay, perfect. Then I'll just keep on chugging. It's so much. Okay, so I'm just hitting the arrow keys. And if I pinch on it, I can touch on this, a touch screen. So if I touched on any of these, and I could magnify, I could change the light, the brightness, it's a rheostat, I can do it, and the guys are going to talk about that. But because I have a touchscreen Chromebook, I can do that. But if I pinch and zoom, here, this is not zooming my camera. This is zooming the magnification software within Chromebook. So it looks fuzzy because their magnification up higher mag isn't fantastic. It's decent, but not fantastic. So on most of these Chromebooks, you're going to have USB-C connections and USB. You want to make sure it's new, 3.0, because otherwise there's Y adapters involved, because you got to get the power. I don't have my Chromebook plugged in. So I'm taking the power to run my camera system off of my Chromebook. So these things have awesome batteries in them, Chromebooks, like 10, 12 hours, usually 8 to 10. They have fantastic batteries. So, but what's nice about the MLS camera is, first of all, I don't have to charge it. I don't have to plug it in when I'm using it. It doesn't require a Wi-Fi signal. It doesn't tap into the Wi-Fi of the laptop, which is fantastic because I can access Google Classroom and do all the things I normally would do when I finally get back in the classroom without worrying about my camera stealing the Wi-Fi connection. So very simple and hardwired. So you get more speed, more accuracy. And the light here I could turn on by tapping the light. I can also do Control H and get rid of this, what's it called? The menu. I got another trick up my sleeve. Control plus, Control minus. And I tap it so it fits along the ribbon. If you magnify it too big and it doesn't fit all the icons, you just hit the arrow and it brings the rest of the icons back into play. You can jump into the manual, do all sorts of things right from this platform. It's all set up to go. So I'm going to now break it all down and show you. So my TV talks, so don't be alarmed. It doesn't like when I do things. So I just unplug. I wanted to show you quick what this is like. So this is the home docking system. And this will sit here. And when my camera's folded up, my MLS, I just drop it into here and then it rotates. So now when I come home, I have a full desktop system, same as a desktop system. And then I pull out my MLS when I'm ready to go to class or I'm traveling, all good. So that's my docking system. This, you could get this XY with the MLS, of course. It's much bigger, but I wouldn't want to carry this one around. This one's very tough. And here's the one again. Here's the little one. It has a nice lip on it to help hold the paper, keeps it straight. So then you could adjust your camera to get perfect straight edge-to-edge clarity. And that's the mini XY table. So when I'm done with this, I always pop off the, I don't lift it up when I do it either, but I was trying to do it for you, but I pop this off. Just get that out of the way. I pull the cable, I roll it up, and then I put this down. Okay, now I take my MLS. So it's just the opposite, but you want to do it in this order. You want to close this, then hold the base again to bring the feet up. If you don't, and you have your finger down here, ouch, could hurt. We don't want to cut off fingers. And then I bring this down, I rotate, and then I'm packed up and ready to go into my bag. Easy as that. Now, normally, you know, you plug in. I'm using the Usbc plug on my laptop here on this Chromebook, and I have a Usbc adapter to HDMI to plug into a big monitor, because as I said, I now could plug this directly into this and then use it for reading, viewing out the window, looking at the bird feeder. Oh my gosh, I even with binoculars, just stunning. I put it on the kitchen table with a monitor and I was zooming out the window at the bird feeder and I couldn't believe how well I could see. It's really cool. So that is, I want to know if I missed anything. Do you have any questions? Do you want me to explain anything more?
Please check the power of the device and cable connection status, or press the input number remote to change to another input. For external audio devices, please go to settings. Sound button change settings to HDMI ARC.
Okay, now $100 if anyone could recite that back word for word. Kimberly will pay you.
Yeah, I tell you. Does anyone have any questions over anything that Charlie covered before we go live to Sweden? Okay, I don't see anything. If you guys think of questions, feel free to put them in the chat. And of course,
Kimberly,
we'll open it back up for questions at the end.
Sorry about that. I'm just curious. Is there anything that I missed that I should cover?
No, I thought it was great. It's so great to be able to see how easy it is to set it up, how versatile to be able to have different XY tables, different docking stations, super easy to use, lightweight, crisp, clean picture. I think you did a great job.
Okay, well, I just want to make sure. I think that now we can move on to a deeper dive into the actual software, which is very robust on these Chromebooks. So, looking forward to hearing this part of it.
Screen, can you see me and Johannes are going to take you deeper into the software, how you control the device with the functions, and also at the end, including the text-to-speech part, of course, and at the end, we will also stop sharing and reshare the screen to go over to show you how to download the Chrome Viewer software and also how to find image and video that you will see us take images and video record with the product. And also some explanations how to change voices and language on the text-to-speech part. But let's get started. So like Charlie said, you can control the device either by short commands on the keyboard or with the menu bar. By pressing Control H on my keyboard, I will add the bar. This is where I have all the functions available. You will see me doing Control H again, just to remove it, so I have a bigger field of view if I prefer that than just using the short commands. But in this case, I will actually add the function bar to make it a little easier for you to follow along. By pressing Control plus and minus, I can make the bar bigger and smaller. This is, of course, a magnification product. So on top left, you have magnification, decrease, and increase. I can simply just magnify what we have underneath the camera. And the same thing, you saw Charlie grabbing the camera physically and point it to any direction. And actually, I just wanted to point out that we're right now looking at our flyer for the MagniLink S, and what's here is something black. It's actually a head frame for visors that we are producing here in the factory, temporary, for the local hospital for free. We're making them in our 3D printer, and I think the capacity is that we can print approximately 10 a day. So that's a cool thing. When I'm playing with the camera,
let's talk about that for a second. So you guys are donating those to the hospital, and they put a shield on them for COVID. Is that correct?
That is correct. Thank you for adding that. Yes.
Wow. Thanks. That's great. I'm glad to hear you guys are able to help out with that.
So are we. One cool thing with the distance viewing and near viewing is that some people prefer, I will actually go, I will hit button number 3 on my keyboard to add something we call high contrast color or contrast mode. So now it puts everything into a black background with the white text on. You can pick the color combination or the contrast that you like. I know by experience that most people prefer the white on black. When you have your favorite to read the text, let's say you want to go grab the camera and watch what's going on in distance on the teacher's board. When you grab the camera, that's what I'm doing right now, and I go back to distance. It took me back to my last settings I had in distance, because we know most users in different situations might want to use different settings when they're doing the near reading and the distance viewing. And they might have, for example, different magnification, different color combinations. In this case, we are now back to full color or natural color. You might want to add a guiding line when you're reading the text, but you don't want that line when you're doing distance like we're doing now, for example. So just to help you with the productivity, not falling behind, it changes it automatically for you. Very quick. Like I said, you can add guiding lines and curtains or masking. They are available both horizontal and vertical. There is a lamp. I think Charlie showed you that on his part. There is a lamp on the device that you can dim up and down and turn it off if needed. Maybe someone is very light sensitive, or maybe you're in a dark room where you actually need light. You can turn it on. Moving on in the menu, it says Picture, Save. When I hold my mouse cursor or mouse pointer on the function like I'm doing right now, it will say, take picture, Control+P. That will be the short command on my keyboard. By pressing here, Save, I will save what we see in the window on my computer, either locally on my computer, into my files folders, or on the Google Drive. In this case, I will just save it under my files, and we can name it Webinar. Save. Image saved. I can do the same thing but video recording. So let's say image saving would be helpful if I'm at the local library, I need to save a lot of information, or I want to save what the teacher has been doing on the board, or I want to video record the teacher's or a friend's presentation, for example. I can simply just grab the camera, either in document viewing or in distance viewing. I will hit video or Control M. Now we are recording. Again, it will be saved either on the computer locally or on my Google Drive. So now I stop recording and it's asking me where I'd like to save it and if I want to add any name to it. So we'll do webinar video and then just simply press save. When we got started, I mentioned that after this part of the demonstration, we will go back into showing you how to find these documents, the images and the video, and also how to make some other setting changes and how to download the software itself. So let's move on here. You have a couple of more functions. As you can see, it says functions rotate. You rotate the camera. Most useful if you're a lefty. You want to have the camera arm on your left side of the computer. You need to rotate the camera image. Control R will be the short command. Mirror mode, freeze. You can freeze the picture. And then before we go into the OCR functions, I'm gonna drag the mouse cursor up here to the left corner where it says settings. I will press settings and take you through the settings where you will get some information under about. Under application, this is one way to do some settings. So I didn't show you actually the viewing modes, or I prefer to call them split screen modes. So by hitting the number 8 on my keyboard, you see that I'm now having the live image. I'll go back to natural. This is my little hand here. I'm live on my left side of the screen. By continue to hit button number 8, it's giving me a couple of options where I would like to have my live image or the LVI window. And then I can use another program at the same time, for example, to either do research or take notes. But going back to settings, I'm now showing you all these viewing modes. There are 6 of them. I can customize my product quite simple by just removing the ones that I know I'm not going to use either now or for the next week or maybe forever because I don't like them. So why have them there? It's just disturbing and taking up time. I can change the language. I can change the menu size. And here you can see it says groups camera. These are all the functions that are available in the function bar that we have been looking at. Let me close this bar that on top of in the window now. That's what I'm talking about. You can remove the functions that you know that you're not using. Let's remove help, picture, focus, contrast, video, line curtain, just to show you. And now we close this window. And as you can see, we have customized having just these few available because that's how I like to use my device. You can save this as a profile stored on this computer or under my Google account. So let's save this profile. And we'll name it to Chris1. Save. Profile saved. So now down here you have default settings. So it's very easy to go back to the factory default settings in case someone messes things up, or maybe you have this product in a demo room and people are going into settings and making changes. I press default. Everything came back as it was when we started. Now I want to load my profile. I hit load profile. Here is my Chris1. That's the one we just created. Open. And as you can see, it removed those viewing modes that I didn't want. It removed some of the functions I had removed in the menu. So you can have different profiles stored to make it easier to make settings. Some video settings, resolution and rotation, mirror image. You can add a length limit to the recording. It's 1 to 60 minutes, or you can have it unlimited. And you can change the contrasts. We go back to the live view here again, and I wanted to ask Johannes here next to me if he can quickly explain a little bit how the OCR is set up or how it's working.
Sure. I'm Johannes. I'm the software developer for this software, Chrome Viewer. And I'll be showing you how to perform an OCR. And the way it works is that you connect it to your Google Drive, and it uses the Google OCR engine to perform an OCR. And we have a couple of ways to actually perform OCR on an image. The first one is pressing 4, or this button up here. And I'll be showing that first. So I'll zoom in on a part of the image I want to be OCR'd. Right here. I'll press 4.
And I'm stepping in saying that you can see an orange bar coming up in the bottom of the software showing that it's processing.
And when it's processed, you can click OCR in the corner or V for shortcut, and you'll find it, the OCR picture with the text on this page. And if you wanted to increase the text size, you can change the font size here and the view. And that is one way for you to OCR. Another way is to either use touch or your mouse and drag across an area you want to be OCR'd. It's coming in. At least we got one for some reason. Anyway, this in this view you can change to view the text only, or if you want a picture with it, you can have that. You can change the way they're displayed in a list view or in a grid view, and you can save them as you could with the picture to view them later, just like that. And if you want to get the text-to-speech, we use a built-in software on the Chromebooks called Chromebox. And to start Chromebox, you press Control-Alt-Z.
So this is a built-in
MagniLink Chrome Viewer, View, button, Grid View, G.
Screen magnifier that's built into every and any Chromebook that's purchased, and that's what Johannes is going to show you. That's what we are using to read the text.
So right now we have 2 texts that we have OCR'd, and if you want to read the one on the left, you simply just press. And let's see here.
Production and quality since 1978. All of our video magnifiers are also produced by LBI in Sweden. We use highest quality materials, and none of our video magnifiers are manufactured until we have received the order.
And then, so Johannes just pressed the text and it started to read. Then, of course, you have a lot of commands on the Google Chromebook's side how it should read the text. You can play backwards and forwards, and you can jump in the text.
Quality since
Do word by word.
1978.
You can do line by line.
All of our video magnifiers are also produced by LBI in Sweden. We use highest quality materials and none.
And how to stop the reading, you simply press Control button on your keyboard. If you want to go over and read the text that we had have taken on the right
Development
side,
and
you
construction,
simply
your new
just press the text and it will start to read. That's how simple it is. Anything to add, Johannes?
I think we covered all of it. If you want to open some of these OCR that you've stored for later, you can delete those or just open a new one, and you can open
button.
You can open the one we saved earlier, and they should appear again.
Cool, that's awesome.
Question.
Yes.
Can you change contrast of the scan text at all?
Currently, we cannot change the contrast. There is a built-in high contrast mode, I do believe, that you can use.
Whoa.
This is built in on the Chromebook.
Okay, it's very clean in the other picture, bright, and looks great. I was just curious if you could.
I think we covered most of the OCR functionality.
Yeah, there
So,
might be more.
Johannes, I want to ask a question. This is Kimberly, because this comes up when I'm out. Are we looking at making any changes within our Chrome Viewer software to have it mirror more what we have in a PC Viewer and Mac Viewer?
We are looking into that, yes. We are looking into developing a new software for the Chromebooks, but it's just in the early beginnings.
Okay, so if people have requests for different features, is that something that they should write in and let us know, since that's something that you currently have in development?
Definitely. I'd say we're always interested in hearing about features.